Hello, hello. Okay, let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, everyone's joining. I'm going to share my screen.
Did you give me co-host privileges?
I am about to do that.
Excellent. Also, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from. Thank you for joining. Feel free to put your camera on, but also I never put my camera on when I'm at workshop, so I understand if you want to keep it off. Unless I'm hosting, then I'll put it on.
Okay, Sarah, you are officially the co-host.
Woohoo!
We'll definitely leave a few minutes in the start for everybody to join and get settled. So just make sure to keep yourselves on mute. Feel free to have your video off or on. Go get a beverage, coffee, tea, whatever. Maybe you're on a different time zone and it's already time for a glass of wine, whatever it may be. Get yourself settled and comfy because we will start in a few minutes here.
Thank you, Sarah Johnston. I cut my hair myself. It's probably a little uneven, but it saved me
It
a
looks
couple
so
hours
good.
to the hairdresser.
When you're
It's
here
like,
next
don't,
week, maybe you can cut mine.
oh my God. Yeah. I mean, if you want to put your hair in my hands, I feel like you have the
Although
same
it's pretty
mentality
short.
as me, where you like don't really care about your hair. I'm like, it's just hair, it'll
Oh, I
grow
don't.
back.
Totally. I really don't care at all. Although I'm just realizing mine's already pretty short. So
Mm,
we don't have that much to cut.
can always go shorter. No, I'm just kidding.
That's true. Okay, let me make sure I have everything set up on the technical side of things. This is great because I can see all of you and I can also see my slides.
While we're waiting for people to join, can you drop in the comments why you attended this workshop today? And let us know, like, if you're a freelancer, if you're a business owner, like, why are you keen to learn about creating life lapse videos? I would love to, yeah, to see who's all here and where you guys are from and why you're joining. Freelance building my portfolio. Awesome. Michaela, I'd love to know what type of clients you take on. Um, do you usually do like stop motion work? Are you doing social content packages for them? Do you work with like a select few restaurants? Like what type of freelance are you doing? Small business from Switzerland. I'd like to get better at stop motion. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Stephanie. Ooh, joining from LA. Awesome. Oh, Giddy's tried this before. Sweet part. Work into product
Ooh, a
business
jeweler.
videos.
You
Business
guys are all
owner.
so cool.
Okay, sweet. So it seems like we have a blend of people who are marketing and freelancing and creating videos for other businesses, and then people who have their own businesses, which is really awesome. That's who I predicted would be
Mhm.
here, but it's good to confirm that so we can tailor things for you and make it better for you. Oh, food photographer, perfect. Oh my God, you can do so much with this. And as you can see from the screen, we have a food example. So
Hey.
yeah, Colette, did you want to start now?
Yeah, I think, we've given everyone 4 minutes to join. So I'm sure some people will trickle in late, but this will be recorded and added to the course portal. So if anyone has to hop off early or if anyone comes late and you miss anything, you'll be able to review it afterwards.
I will say at the end, we're going to share how you can get one of
Mm.
3 lifetime access codes to LifeLapse Pro. So if you're new to LifeLapse, hi, I'm the founder of LifeLapse. It's how we'll be creating these videos today from your iPhone, and we worked on this development for a year to bring it to life, pun intended. And yeah, like any app, we're a business, so we do have to have some elements of paid features in the app, like watermarks and stuff. And that subscription is $50 a year. You can shoot videos for free, but if you want to access the pro features, it's that. And I don't want to make this too salesy, but I'm just getting to the point that you can win lifetime access for free if you stick around to the end. All right,
Yeah,
that's
which
my
is
little
so,
pitch.
and that's so awesome because lifetime access, that means like any updates, any new features, right, would just be like
Yeah.
you always get all of this for free. So I love that. Okay, cool. Well, let's get started then. Thank you everyone so much for being here. Like we mentioned earlier, feel free to use the chat, write in any questions because Sarah's here. She can answer them as we go, and we can also answer any verbally during and at the end. So feel free to be chatting as I am presenting. All right. So today we are learning how to make epic videos like this where we mix live action video and stop motion. So this example, you see the bed is in stop motion, and then Sarah is just looking out the window, sipping her coffee very clearly in regular live action video. And for simplicity's sake, we have just decided to call this hybrid style of video a life lapse. So that's what it's going to be referred to throughout the rest of the presentation. And I want to introduce myself as well. For anyone who doesn't know me, I am Colette Peri. I am a professional stop motion artist. I have been for the last 7 years. I am also a mom of a toddler, and I'm pregnant with one more on the way. I live in California. I'm very multi-passionate. I shoot stop motion, but also portraits and landscapes, and I also teach online courses and love to help others in their creative pursuits. And one thing you should know about me is that I love magic. That is what drew me to stop motion in the first place. Ever since I was a kid, I just have wished I could have magic powers. I loved the movie Matilda. I just wished I could like point at things around my room and have them clean themselves up. And stop motion and now this life lapse feature are really, I think, the closest I've gotten to being a real magician. So these are some of the brands that I've had the privilege to work with. I have gotten to create stop motion content mostly for their social media, but also a few broadcast spots for their websites. I really specialize in short form stop motion content that brands use for advertising. And it has been a really, really awesome career that I never knew was possible. And here are some examples of my work. And yes, I see the question on the side, wanting me to talk about how to propose the idea of making these types of videos for businesses. And that's definitely part of my story. So we'll get into that a little bit. As you can see, my work is very bright and colorful, and I try and create a feeling of happiness and joy and wonder and awe with all of my stop motions. So, my journey to begin mixing video and stop motion started about a year and a half ago, or I guess almost 2 years now. Like I said, I've been a professional stop motion artist for the past 7 years, but it kind of changed when I became a mom. So I was postpartum, I was working on transitioning back to my stop motion work and was really trying to reignite that creativity and inspiration amidst the postpartum fog and like identity change of becoming a mom. And I was craving something that would just like light me up. And I had seen a couple videos where stop motion was happening alongside live action. So I've seen some of these on social media. I saw the movie Marcel the Shell. I don't know if anyone saw that, but they mix stop motion and live action video. And I started thinking, how are these being done? Like, how are we mixing video content and stop motion? I started to get curious. And then one day I was home with my baby and I thought, I'm just going to try and make one of these. So I first tried with a tripod using my phone. I shot stop motion, then I changed it to video. I pressed record, then I put them into an app and tried editing it all together in layers, and it didn't match up. Like the framing didn't match, the color didn't match. And I kept failing and trying again, failing and trying again. And eventually, I figured out a way to do it. It was very complicated and required multiple different apps and a lot of my time, but this was the first one that I ever made. So, as you can see, there are cute little baby items moving in stop motion. And then my baby, who is in live action video, just being cute, stretching, and looking around. And once I made this video, I was like, this is so cool and so fun. And like I mentioned, I also then went to this would be really cool for brands. Like branded content should utilize this style because it's so captivating and different than anything I've seen before. So I started testing some things out in the studio. For example, this one where I could imagine like a beverage or any type of consumer packaged good product in the studio, showcasing the ingredients, maybe something pouring into a glass. And I started pitching to brands that I had worked with in the past for stop motion. And one of those brands was Pottery Barn Kids, and they were the first client that I had to sign on for making a life lapse style video for their marketing purposes. So this was that first brand video that we did. So thank you. I agree. It's super cute. It's just really fun to see, especially in an environment like a kid's room where the kid is like interacting in live action video, but then all the toys and everything is coming to life. Because to me, that was like the ultimate dream as a kid. So it was so cool that I was like, wow, we can create this. We can make anything with this style video. But like I said, it was so complicated to create these. It was so time consuming. I was using all these different programs and apps, going from my phone to the computer. And I ended up meeting up with Sarah in Seattle. And for those of you who missed it, she's on here and she's the founder of Lapse app, which before was a traditional stop motion app where you can create stop motion videos. So I was talking to her about, gosh, I wish that we could create this hybrid stop motion and regular video all within one app. And we looked around, we did our research, it didn't exist. There's no app where you could do this. And Sarah, being super creative and innovative and just a go-getter, was like, we can do this. We can create this within the Lapse app.
You forgot
And
delusional.
well, it ended up being a lot of work. But after about a year of development, design, testing, Lapse 2.0 was born. And you can now easily create this style of video where you mix stop motion and live action video using just the Lapse app and an iPhone. And that is super exciting. And that is why we are hosting this workshop, to show you how to do that, just how easy it is for anybody. And since that launched, we have already been getting so much amazing feedback, and so have all the people who've been posting these videos they're making. So we're seeing comments on these videos where people are just like, wait, how did you do this? And to me, that's how I felt when I first got into stop motion. Like every time I posted a stop motion video, people were like, how did you do that? That is so cool. And so this is such an exciting, new and innovative tool that, as you can see here, is getting a lot of great feedback, and people are just totally in awe. Stop motion is obviously still so magical to see, but when you add that element of live action video with it, it just adds such an extra ounce of magic, and I love it so much. So as we dive into the technical side of things, let's back up a little bit. Maybe some of you have never even done a stop motion before, and I just want to go over the basics. So a stop motion, these are all examples of stop motions. Stop motion is a video, but it's made with photos. It's a series of photos that are strung together to create a video. So here's an example. This could be what a series of images looks like, where in between each photo that you take, you are moving the object just a little bit. So sliding this pumpkin pie into frame, cutting it up, pulling the slices out, bringing the plates in, and taking a photo in between each movement. Then once you have all your photos, in the Lapse app, you string them together and press play, and it creates a stop motion video, and it looks like the product is moving itself. So I'm sure you've seen videos like this in advertising, and it's also used in like claymation movies and long form content as well. And I'm curious, write in the chat if you have made a stop motion before. I'm assuming most of you have made a traditional stop motion, but I want to see how many people. Like, how familiar are we? Yeah, we love making stop motion. It's so fun. And as you all probably know, it's a lot easier than it looks, but it's difficult to perfect the craft. It's difficult to make sure that your lighting is consistent, that the editing works, that your movements are realistic. And that's the fun thing about stop motion, is you can always keep improving. So as you know, if you've made stop motion before, one important thing you need is to stabilize your phone. When you're shooting handheld, like the example on the left, everything in the frame is moving, right? The table, the hat, the background, and it's a little wonky looking. But the example on the right, when your phone is stabilized, everything else is perfectly consistent and just the hat moves, and that really creates that element of magic. So Number one tip here, stabilize your phone in order to make your stop motion look professional and just better all around. But if you don't have a tripod, that is totally fine. We have so many fun hacks for shooting stop motion. You can see up on the left here, you can put your phone inside a cabinet looking down on the kitchen counter. I literally do that all the time. Like if ever I want to shoot my coffee or anything, even though I do have a tripod, this is easier. You can
I
put
want
your
to,
phone. Yeah, go
Colette,
ahead.
can I hop in and just make a suggestion here? So on
Yeah.
iPhone, you can do a screen share to places like your laptop or even your TV if you have a smart TV or an iPad. So if you're shooting something like this over the counter and you're having a hard time seeing what the frame is, you can always just screen share what you're seeing. So as you're animating, like I'll do that and I'll put my laptop beside me and then I know the framing. So that's like another little helpful hack for when you don't have a tripod.
Totally. Yeah, you can also put your phone in a cup or a mug. You can lean your phone against the handle on a mug. You can lean it over the edge of a table. These are all different ways to just make sure your phone isn't touched while you're shooting. Also, if you have a pair of Apple headphones, you can plug those in, use them as a shutter release cable. And there's also an interval timer in the app. So you can just have it automatically take the photos for you without having to ever touch your phone once you start animating. So now that we've looked at these, more traditional stop motions, how do we create a stop motion and video from one single shot? Well, here are some lovely examples that Sarah has created, and we are going to dive in. But before I get into exactly how, I just want to give you the main gist, which is that all of these are shot with just one video clip recorded. So, for example, this one on the left, we have the lemons coming in, animating, chopping themselves up, and the water being poured, and then a lemon coming in. That is all just one video clip. There are no photos being taken here. So we can say goodbye to the old way of creating a stop motion, individually taking photos and stringing them together into a video, because with Lapse and this new update in the app, we press record once, animate everything without having to run back and forth and press the shutter. And then Lapse app extracts the photos for the stop motion after the shoot using the editor. So let me show you what that looks like. This is the example video that we're going to showcase today. These cookies stacking up in stop motion, and then a hand pouring a glass of milk in live action video. So first you see the screenshot of what it looks like to shoot. You press record and then stack the cookies one on top of the other and then pour the milk. Now, in the editor, the first step is extracting the photos. So you can see this white button here. This is where you basically take a screenshot of different points in that video to extract photos. And this number down here, the number 7, tells me that I have 7 images in my stop motion. That's a plate and 6 cookies. Then the next step is trimming the video. So I trim the portion where I pour the milk into the cup. Then it prompts me to mask. I just mask what part I want to be stop motion using a brush tool. And then it layers them together. They play at once, and you can mess around inside the editor and change the speed. You can boomerang your video. I'll show you all of that. Now, before you begin making a Lapse, it's really important to plan out how this is going to work. And one thing I want to stress the importance of is not having your stop motion and your video overlap. So you need to imagine like an invisible line in the frame. So if we go back to the cookies and milk, the invisible line is between the stack of cookies and the glass of milk. I am not going to cross over the cookies with my hand when I'm pouring the milk, like you see in this mess up example, where the water is being poured, but it's over a part that's animating. You can see how that is when things don't work. So here is a live view of behind the scenes. This is how you start, by locking the focus, auto, white balance, and exposure. That will make sure that your iPhone doesn't change any of the coloring or focus during the video recording. And you press record. Then you do your stop motion. So I'm placing one cookie on the plate, and then I'm just stepping out of the frame for like 1 second and going and placing the next cookie on. So I'm not pressing the shutter, I'm not taking a photo, and that can be a little bit tricky to get used to when you're used to regular stop motion, but it's actually way faster. You just step out for a second. In this case, I'm literally just grabbing the next cookie, putting it in, grabbing the next cookie, putting it in. And this whole video takes me under 2 minutes to shoot. So that's my fourth cookie. And I'm making sure to fully get out of the frame for a second, because, you know, we don't want any shadow lingering or my hand lingering. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the last cookie. And now my animation is done. And without pressing anything, you know, I'm not stopping the video and restarting. I'm just now getting the milk, and I'm going to the other side and I'm going to pour the milk into the glass. And this part, like, it's live action. See, I do a little practice here. I'm like, okay, that is like where I'm going to pour. And then I just got to do it quickly. I have one take. Here I go. I'm pouring it at a normal speed, pulling the glass out of frame. And that is my video portion. So now I'm pressing stop and my recording is done. And then I click next at the top right. There's also a button to reshoot in case you're like, I messed that up, I got to start this over. And the next step is extracting the stop motion. So I'm just scrubbing through the video down here. And as soon as I get to the place where I see the moment I want an image for the stop motion captured, so first it's just a blank white plate, I press that white button and you can see the number 1 populates down below. That's my first photo. Now I wait until there's just 1 cookie there. I press a photo. I scrub until there's 2 cookies, extract a photo. 3 cookies, extract a photo. You get the idea. I'm also trying to be aware, you know, right as I leave the frame, there's still a little like shadow or reflection happening. So I'm trying to make sure to extract the photos when I'm like furthest away from the scene, grabbing that next cookie. And once I have all of those photos, it is time to click next. Oh wait, 1 more cookie. Yeah, 7 photos. So now I see, okay, now it's time to click next and we move to the live action portion. So now we have this video portion where I'm just trimming. I want to trim away all of that animation part so that I'm only left with the video footage of me pouring the milk. So I'm just sliding that video all the way to right when I start pouring. And then I'm going to the other end of the video when I remove the glass out of frame and just trimming the end off so that the video stops right when the milk exits frame. There we go. And then I click next. And now it's time to mask. So I'm bringing the hardness of the brush down because I want the mask to have like a feather on the side. I don't want it to be a super stark mask, or you might be able to see it. So you can see how the edges are softer. And I'm just masking the stop motion portion of this video, and I'm pressing play, and I can see that a little bit of the right edge of my cookies are getting cut off. So I'm going back to add the mask, and I'm just drawing a little bit further, but if I touch too close to the glass, I can choose the button that says erase mask and just clean it up a little bit. So that's that invisible line, right? Right
We're
down the
also
middle.
hoping to do an undo button soon, because that is also very annoying to not have that. But for now, you can just use the erase if you've overcompensated somewhere.
Awesome. Yeah, Sarah is constantly working on updating the app too. So as you all are trying it and making these videos, we welcome all your feedback. Okay, so once the mask is done, your video is done, but you get to play with editing. So right here, I am going to adjust the speed. I'm just making the cookies animate a little bit slower. You can just play around with this and see what you like the look of. And I also know that I want it to boomerang. So instead of the cookies reaching the top and then starting back over, I want them to go up and down. So I'm going over to boomerang and toggling that on. This is what that looks like, and I'm happy with it. And so it's time to download the video. This now will prompt me to save it to my camera roll. So it's super easy to download and then be able to post. And in terms of what layer you're editing, we made that easy for you. It's gonna edit the video as a whole. So if you change anything in terms of color or like the cropping, it's packaging the video together in one. So here is what our final video looks like. So fun, so easy. Literally took 2 minutes to shoot and 4 minutes to edit. And as you can see, it's simple, but it looks really eye-catching and captivating. And these are examples of different edits that I could have done in the app. So the one on the left is our final video. But this next one shows slowing down the cookies so that they reach the top when the milk reaches the top. This next one shows a filter on it. You can play around with those colors. And then this one on the right, I added a freeze. So when the final cookie reaches the top, the video freezes for 3 seconds before it boomerangs back down. So that's a really cool feature you can do as well. Okay. Now I see there's questions coming in the chat and Sarah's answering them, which is awesome. We can also kind of talk through some at the end here, but I want to just dive into one advanced technique that you may have seen, which is drop off and pick up. So in that lemon example, I know I showed in an earlier slide, you can see that the water glass gets poured, the lemons are stop motion, and then one of those lemons that entered in stop motion gets placed into the glass with live action video. So we're like mixing up the timing, right? So a drop off is what we call it when the stop motion is on the first portion of the video and then it drops it off. So let's go to this one on the very left. Sarah is watering her plants. This furniture gets dropped off via stop motion, and then she goes and sits down. So it doesn't generally matter whether you animate the stop motion first or perform the live action video first. But in this case, if you want to do a drop off, it does matter. So of course, Sarah needed to animate the furniture coming in first, and then she went and filmed herself doing the live action portion and ended her live action bit by sitting down in the chair. And the way that you do this type of advanced technique in the app is with what is called the move tool. So you can basically choose to move your stop motion. Sarah, tell me if I'm saying this right, but you can choose to move the stop motion portion so that it doesn't keep repeating throughout your project, but rather stops and has an end point.
Is that a question? Sorry, I'm responding to questions.
No, totally. I just wanted you to be able to add in anything if you wanted when it comes to the move tool, but I also wanted to show this screen where I know we have YouTube videos coming with in-depth tutorials on more advanced techniques like this. So
Yes.
definitely subscribe here.
I'll talk on the move tool a little bit. So yeah, basically
Okay.
you can just, I don't know if anyone uses like CapCut or standard video editors, but when you have two layers, like when you're adding text, even in like the Instagram editor, you only have it on a portion of the video. So this is the same with the stop motion layer. And what this allows you to do, as Colette said, is you can overlap while shooting. So it does require more planning, and like, I'm going to be honest, my brain sometimes hurts when I'm like thinking of, like for that one where I'm sliding it, the chair's sliding in, and then I walk over, I'm like, okay, which one do I shoot first? Well, obviously I have to shoot the stop motion first. I need to go walk over and sit in it. If it's not there, I'm not sitting on anything. So it does require a bit more planning, but yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I believe you guys probably follow us on Instagram, but we post all the tutorials on both places, so feel free to follow anywhere on either one. And also I'm available on DMs or email to answer any questions too.
Awesome. And here's that YouTube QR code again. And now we wanted to show some examples of what people have been doing with this feature on Lapse. These are so fun. Each one is so unique, so I'll just leave them up for a little bit. The creators' handles are right below in case you want to check out more of their work. But as you can see, there are endless opportunities with what you could shoot. But I also know, like Sarah said, like it's kind of hard to wrap your head around sometimes. And I would love everyone to think of this as, okay, how can I play with this? What can I play around with? And through doing that, you will learn what works, what doesn't. You'll get the hang of it, and then more ideas will be able to come. In the same way with stop motion, I don't know about you guys, but like once I got the hang of stop motion, just in my everyday life, I would like imagine things happening in stop motion and understand in my brain how that would work. The same thing is happening with this, where I'm like, okay, what are things that move on their own with live action? And what are things that could animate beside them? And what scenarios could that be really cool in? So we wanted to give you all a chance to get some ideas for maybe your business or whatever it is your main focus is that you're attending this workshop for. So if anyone wants, feel free to write in the chat right now, just like what you would want an idea surrounding, and we'll choose 3 of them and just give you a quick idea of something that you could do. Does anyone want to be brave? I'll let you guys have a couple minutes. And also, if anyone else has ideas as well, feel free to chime in. Let's see. Okay.
Gift unboxing.
Yeah, go for it, Sarah.
Oh, and reading with a toddler. Work and pause, crocheting. Okay. Let's do a gift unboxing. I think a really cool idea for this would be doing the drop off. Actually, would be a pickup. So I think you could put the box down first and maybe like a cup of coffee, and then you like grab the coffee or whatever it is as the box is animating, sorry. And we do have unboxing tutorials actually inside of the app. So if you want to learn how to do the stop motion portion of that, If you go into, I don't know if, oh, of course, the green screen's not gonna work, but if you open up the Lapse app and then click on the light bulb icon, there's a bunch of tutorials in there. If you scroll down to the bottom of popular, there's an unboxing video. So I think that'd be, what do you think, Colette? For
Yeah, I love that idea. I was also thinking, um, having the items unbox in stop motion, and then like I think you kind of mentioned, or did you say a drop off? I was gonna say the gift box unboxes, the things come out, and
ooh, yeah.
then in live action you interact with them. So you like pick
Yeah.
them up and maybe flip through the pages of something. I don't know what's in the box, but it would be really cool to think that you're watching a stop motion and then all of a sudden see like a person interacting with the items.
I love that.
Okay, let's
For
see.
making cookie, okay, lots of food ones. Okay, let me go to the top. Reading with a toddler. I mean, Colette has so many great examples with kids. You could have you sitting on like a rocking chair or even just like on a couch, flipping the pages as the real like live action part, and then you could have all the toys animating on the floor.
Yeah, I've done this one before too at an Airbnb. I had my husband reading with our toddler in front of a fireplace, and then everything on the mantle behind them
Oh
was
yeah, I remember that.
animating. And there were little toys kind of in the foreground animating, but then they're like reading and interacting and making faces. So it's really fun to use kids and babies for this kind of thing. Okay, let's pick one
Cooking.
more.
Let's do a food one.
Yeah,
Specifically
cooking.
assembling a taco.
Ooh. Okay. I feel like with this one, it would be cool to, for some reason, the like when I think of assembling a taco, the last step is like either squeezing a lime or sprinkling cheese. And
Mm.
that would be really cool for live action video. So I imagine like a taco shell or tortilla and the items animating on, and then a hand coming in and doing that like finishing touch would be really fun.
I've got it, Hannah. You do the phone in the cupboard. You're cutting lines on the left side as the live
Left.
action. The taco is assembling itself. You do the drop off, and then you now then go over to that side and squeeze the lime. I think that would be cool.
Yes. So how you'd shoot that is you'd set your phone in the cabinet and you would animate the entire taco um, building itself. And then you'd move over to video and you'd animate yourself cutting limes, taking one and squeezing it on top. So easy, so fun.
There's so
Okay,
many
so
other ones. Okay, I'm gonna save
I
this chat
know.
and I will respond to I'll just start responding to people in the comments.
Yeah. Also, Sarah, you have access to this chat once this video is over, so
Oh, okay.
you'll be able to see them all, and we could even follow up on social media on stories and like verbally give some ideas. This also is a good slide for everyone to take a picture of because it'll just get the creative juices flowing. It's a good idea to brainstorm, okay, what are things that can happen in stop motion? Objects can move on their own, they could spin in a circle, they could slide. Um, a bed could make itself. And then what are things that can happen in live action? You could walk, you could sit on a chair, you could eat food, drink coffee, your kid playing, exercising, scrolling on a phone. There are also so many different things with live action that you could do that don't involve you being in the video. I know some people are like, I don't want to be like necessarily acting in it, but if you look at the reel that I posted just yesterday or the day before, it's just like my hands typing on the keyboard and it's kind of from my point of view. So it's just my hands in frame in live action. You could roll a ball, like things, items that move on their own, like a windmill, or not a windmill. What do you call those? Yeah, is it called a windmill? where you spin something and it continues spinning, or if you pour milk into a glass of coffee, it's going to swirl. A pinwheel. It's going to swirl down in a really pretty way that would only really that would very clearly look like live action video versus stop motion. All right. And everyone should also make sure of the Lapse Pro. This means you won't have any watermarks. You'll have access to all the features. Sarah, you can speak to more if you want.
Oh,
but we
yeah.
really want you all to dive in and be able to try out the app with every single feature.
Yeah, if you're not on Pro yet, please scan this right now and activate it. If you don't want, so what happens is you do the 1 month free and then it will put you into an annual subscription after the 1 month. I don't have a way to not have that. So if you do the 1 month and you don't like Life Lapse, which please, if that's you, no shade, but please message me and tell me how I can make it better for you. Because yeah, we really want to make this experience really valuable for you. So just cancel it and you won't be charged. I just want to give you that heads up. I don't want to make you have a sneaky charge and be like, she scammed us. So yeah, just scan that. You'll get 1 month free to Life Lapse Pro. I'm just continuing to respond to people here in the comments with some ideas.
Awesome. Keep going with it. And I will let everyone know that we are running a little contest challenge. So we want to give 3 people lifetime access to Life Lapse Pro for free and also feature you in a reel. And so we would love it if you take this weekend up until Tuesday, June 4th at noon Pacific to create a Life Lapse style video, share it on Instagram or TikTok Reels or a TikTok video, and tag at Colette.Peri and at lifelapse_app. And we will select our 3 favorites that we think are best executed or most creative. And we will announce those winners next week. So if you have any questions about this, let us know. But otherwise, please take a picture of this slide and have fun this weekend. Get creative. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like I mentioned, think about it as I'm going to be creative and play with this technique, even get my family involved or my pets or my plants or whoever I'm with this weekend, and see what you can come up with and share it with us. We are so excited to see. So with that being said, I will leave this question box, or I will leave the chat box open for just a few more minutes. I know Sarah's responding to some people. And if you have any questions that you want me to address, like verbally on camera right now, please drop those in as well. And I'm happy to do a little Q&A for the next 5 minutes here.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if anyone feels comfortable going on camera. I'd love to get a picture of everyone together. Colette,
Great
could you
idea.
turn the screen share off for a sec?
Yes.
Gotta grab that content. You all know that. Woohoo! Oh my God, thank you so much for everyone coming. I love how it's like all females. Oh my God, and the baby.
Oh
Yay,
my
mom
gosh,
power.
love that.
I
Okay,
have
give
2
everyone a
toddlers in
second.
case people don't know that. So I'm in the thick of it with motherhood here.
Yes, you're a super mom. And because
I try.
you're running this business and 2 toddlers. How old are they?
Or 3.
3.
Okay. This is good. If everyone just wants to like wave or smile, I don't know. Just
Yay!
do ultimate cheese balls. Oh, okay. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, just to echo what Colette said, like we're not saving lives here. This isn't serious. This is fine. Your first one will probably suck, but just keep trying. And You'll get more familiar with it and the ideas will start flowing easier, and that planning process will just come so much more naturally to you because you've done it before. But yeah, if anyone has questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. We'll stay on for a few more minutes. Or you can, if you're brave and you want to come on video, would love to hear from you
Yeah.
there too. Colette, do you
Um,
use this app when working with brands that have hired you? Heidi asked that.
yeah, I can see this chat. So let me think. I'm trying to decide. I don't think I've used most of my brand clients. I'm shooting with my camera and editing on my computer and having it like in a more professional capacity, using like, you know, my Sony camera, not using Dragon Frame, but editing in Premiere Pro. And that is definitely a lot more time consuming. That being said, I do see a lot of brands who want content shot on mobile. They don't want it to look so highly produced. They want it to be like more relatable and fun. And so I could definitely see myself making short form content for brands using my phone and the Lapse app. I think for now I've been making like higher end ads, but when it comes to quick, fun, engaging content, the iPhone camera is great. So I would definitely feel comfortable using my phone and the Lapse app. I think when we talk about advanced techniques, I get into a lot more of those, and you can see those like in that Pottery Barn Kids video where there are a bunch of different masks happening all at once. And hopefully we will be able to bring functionality like that to the app in the future. But for now, I would say for the more complex projects with brands, I'll use my camera and computer. And for anything that's like doable on the phone and with Lapse, I think brands would be perfectly happy with me using it, considering, how the media landscape is these days with.
Yeah, and you're working with top tier brands like Starbucks. So it could be
Right.
awkward to show up on set with your like iPhone and you have a whole team there and like Starbucks representatives. But
Yeah.
like for anyone who's freelancing and offering this as package, like this is such a low production value with like I'm sure your clients will be blown away because it just looks so cool. But
Yeah.
Colette, do you have any
Also,
resources on like pitching brands, or where are people at that said they are a freelancer or they're a photographer and they want to get clients? Like what's your biggest pain point right now? Is it building the portfolio? Is it approaching clients? Is it figuring out your pricing? Because Colette's an expert at this and she has like you deal with a lot of like more people doing this with their cameras, but all these other
yeah.
approaches are still like applicable.
Yeah, totally. And I have my signature courses on my website that are brand magic and professional stop motion course. And the professional stop motion course is geared towards professionals who shoot with a camera and edit using Lightroom and Premiere. But brand magic is all about the business side of things. So it's getting clients, building your portfolio, pitching your work, knowing how to price your work. And all of that can apply to someone who shoots with a camera, or it can apply to a content creator who uses just their iPhone and wants to work with brands. Um, Regardless of what type of creative work you do, it really applies to any type of creative. So I'll put the link to coletteperry.com/brand magic at the bottom here, and you can check out that course. It's got 8 chapters, and yeah, like I mentioned, it talks about like how to build your portfolio, how to price your work, how to pitch to brands. Because like you saw, I've worked with so many dream clients for me that are brands that are huge and that I love. And so I was like, I got to teach everyone kind of like what my methods are for getting these brands as clients. And then if you're interested in creating like high-end stop motion and you shoot with a camera, I have resources for that as well, like my stop motion course or a professional masterclass about creating a life lapse style video using your camera and Premiere Pro. So there's really something for everyone here. And I'm so excited that the Life Lapse app makes this style of video accessible to anyone with an iPhone. Let me see if there's any other questions, follow-up questions. I see you
Pricing,
guys.
getting clients. What's your number one tip for approaching clients and getting the or demonstrating the ROI on just video content in general, not even necessarily life lapse, but like even when you're pitching stop motion videos, for
Yeah,
smaller brands that aren't necessarily putting millions of dollars in ad spend behind it, you know? What are
yeah.
some tips there?
The good news is that recently, in the last few years, brands get how they need to prioritize video content and social, even though it's hard to track, like exactly, that leading to specific sales, or it might be hard to track. They are putting more priority into their overall social presence and storytelling, and they're not just hiring me to create ads that they put paid content behind or paid spend behind, but also just organic social content to be looked at as a brand that is creative and works with artists. And so brands are really starting to see the value in that. But a lot of times when I pitch, I will share past work that either I've just posted personally on my own account and it's performed really well, or I've gotten comments like you saw the slide where we put all those screenshots of comments being like, whoa, this is so cool. How did you do that? Like brands see that on your social and they're like, we want that. We want that kind of video with our product for people to, wonder how that was done and be engaging with it in this way. So definitely building your portfolio, sharing your own work, whether it's a paid brand job or something you're just playing around with for fun, sharing that and then sending it to the brands you want to work with, tagging them, DMing them, showing them what you're doing and how people are responding and making them want to be part of that. I also just got a question about if I offer scholarships for my courses. I do have a BIPOC scholarship. It's at the end of the course page. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of that brand magic page or the stop motion course page, you'll see the scholarship application link.
But do you ever offer strategies on social for how to get more with video? So like for us, using ManyChat, that's how we built up traction for our launch, and including calls to action on the video and not just posting the video, but adding text being like, I don't know, here's the number one reason to shoot these videos, read the caption, and then have the caption with information. Do you ever educate your user or clients on that? Because I feel like it's not just the visual is great. It does stop the scroll, and maybe I shouldn't be saying this as a video app person, but like I do think it's important. It's a holistic approach. It's not just post and ghost and just it's gonna go viral. Like there's a lot to social media than just having good visuals. And I'm curious if you ever offer that or anything, or is it just in their hands?
It definitely depends. I would categorize that more as like social marketing consulting work because the brands have teams in-house who are in charge of that. And so as the creative, I like to give them that ownership and autonomy and be like, you are the expert in terms of how you're using this content and what you're sharing and what you're directing me to create. But it's definitely something I do when it feels like the right opportunity to give them tips. Like they'll say, oh, we want, royalty-free music. And I'm like, have you considered using music within the Instagram app in Reels, trending music that can help get more reach? And I'll give little tips like that. But ultimately, I focus more on that with my own brand. So if I'm creating work that I know I want more eyes on and more brands to see, I'm going to use those techniques you're mentioning and let the brand clients, have their like marketing strategies in place. And a lot of times those brands I'm working with are at such a larger scale that like they have so much money to put behind content that that's what's really helping them succeed too. Like they can put thousands and thousands of dollars behind a post and it's like no problem to them. I wouldn't do that personally on my own page though. So I'm going to use things like ManyChat to, you know, get um get more engagement on a post or get people to see something and sign up for it. And
I
I'm
mean,
going
that's
to
what we
use,
used for this workshop. Like
yeah,
we had what,
totally.
like probably over 500 comments between the multiple posts on our pages of people saying the keyword, and then it triggers the link to the workshop to their DMs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been awesome. I try not to use that for like every post because I think it can get, I don't
Spammy.
know. Yeah, a little spammy, but more so think of it as a tool. Like, there's no other way to easily give someone a link other than saying link in bio, and that makes you like
Yeah.
click to the person's profile, click the bio link, go to that website, choose the button, and it's a lot easier to say like comment workshop and the link will be DM to you. So that's definitely a really cool tool to utilize. But maybe not so much, in terms of the people who are wanting advice on getting more brands like seeing their content and you're pitching and
Mm.
wanting to create more of a business. I think those things are those techniques that I teach in brand magic are definitely more traditional, like pitching yourself as an artist to work with brands and building those client relationships, like, not over social, but over email and meetings and whatnot.
I think another great entry point for getting clients is going through the whole UGC movement. So a lot of brands now, they don't want influencers. They don't really care about their clout. They want this kind of natural, organic looking footage. So they'll source it from like, it's called user generated content, UGC. And there's tons of platforms that you can go on and submit a video to a UGC campaign, and it doesn't matter how many followers you have. But I think that could be a great avenue, is looking up those, and I'm happy to research some of those, and maybe Colette, you can send it out in a follow-up email for
Mm-hmm.
the folks that are looking to build their portfolio, because I guess, yeah, like those are people who are actively looking for videos. It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
Somebody had a question earlier and I said I would answer it. It's, can you import a video with a stop motion you created to blend as a life lapse? And I want to explain why you can't do that right now in life lapse. One, we don't have an import feature, but two, if you were to shoot a video and then go shoot a stop motion separately, and Colette, you have experience testing this as well, like
It
it,
doesn't
it
work.
does not work. Like the lining up the two shots, even if you have it on a tripod, just the way the color formats are for video versus image, the way it's processed on the iPhone, you would never be able to sync that up and make it look normal inside of either life, even if you brought it into something like Final Cut Pro or Premiere, that would be really, really hard to blend and make it look like it was shot in the same scene. So it's really important when you are shooting these that it's all from one video shot. Even if you're using a DSLR, great, but just shoot it in one shot. Don't take a video and then take individual stills, because it won't line up. So that's why we have that. We do want to have an option for people to import a video. So let's say you do want to shoot these on your DSLR. You can import that one video clip and then go through the stages of extracting the stop motion, trimming, and then Life Lapse will put it all together for you. But yeah, in case you're not familiar, it took us a year to develop this. We were supposed to launch this last July, and we launched it in April of this year. So we wanted to just get it out there with the most simple functionalities things like ability to change lenses, like that takes a week for our developers to do. I know it sounds really simple, but all this stuff takes a lot of development time and money to pay them. So yeah, all that stuff is coming. It's in the works. We're actually releasing a version today or tomorrow. I have to submit it to Apple to get approved, but there's things like a timer inside of the camera, because right now it will cut you off at 10 minutes. That's our limit to avoid crashing. Otherwise, the app will literally just shut down and you'll lose everything. So we had to put the cap on 10 minutes, but we are working on improving it. Like I said, just always making improvements. So you'll be able to see now how much time you have left before it's just going to stop recording, which makes things a little less stressful. Shooting stop motion is stressful. Like I'm always like sweating and out of breath because it's just like, even when I'm not doing a life lapse, just taking individual photos, because you never want to like bang something out
Yeah.
of the way. Even with the ghost feature, it's just, you know, you want it to go smooth. So
It's honestly such a good workout if you're doing like a full scene. Like I'll wear running shoes and
oh
like a
yeah,
sports
sports
bra and be like,
bra.
I'm ready to animate today.
Yeah. Sweet.
All
Does anyone
right.
have any more questions? I think we're a little over time, so thank you so much for everyone sticking around. For somebody had a question about tagging. So if you're entering the contest to win one of 3 lifetime access codes, you can tag us on Reels, but also maybe shoot us a DM of the reel just so we don't miss it.
Hmm.
And we'll announce the winners next week.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
so
welcome. You're
excited.
welcome. I'm glad you guys found this. We'll send a follow-up email with all of our learnings and the recording if you want to come back and watch this. Um,
Yeah,
and
thank
thank
you
you,
all.
Colette, for helping with all of this. Colette advised us on this whole life lapse process. So yeah,
It's
I really
been
appreciate it.
so
And I get to go visit Colette in
fun.
California next week. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we're cooking up something fun. Um, do
You
we
do
send
not
you the
have to,
video before
yeah.
posting it? No, no, you just post it and we tag us and we're gonna compile all of the people who post before the 4th. So we're just saying you can DM us the link after you've posted it to make sure that we see it. But we're gonna be good at looking for these and really eager to see what you all create. So
And
please,
this is
please have
only for
fun.
people who showed up live. I want to point that out. So if you are watching the recording, I'm sorry, you can like obviously shoot and share, but um this will increase your chance of winning if you are on this live, because there's
Yeah.
I don't know, how do I see how many people? There's 26 people on right now, and I know people have trickled off, but you have a pretty good chance
Hmm.
of winning if you shoot something epic. So I look forward to seeing your
Totally.
videos.
Yeah. And don't
Any
put too much pressure
hashtags?
on yourself either. Like, we're not saying whose is the most professional looking. It's just like, oh, what is the most, what do we think is a creative idea or looks like aesthetically beautiful, or, it's really going to just be up to what videos we feel drawn to most. So I want everyone to think of this as like a fun challenge, not a stressful one. And, um, and we will announce on social media who the winners are. So stay tuned there. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and thank you all so much for coming.
Sorry, one last question. She said, how do you know we were here live? Do you have access to that info? I actually don't know of who
Uh,
showed up.
we have access to who is in the Zoom. Yes.
Okay. Aha, we can track it. Okay. Have a great Friday, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. And yeah, thank you so much again. We will see you on the interwebs, on the social.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.